Greetings and welcome, family, to a Friday night page of Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. We are in for a treat tonight. I want to thank everyone for being patient. We were just having a little technical challenge in the background, but we're going to start, as we always do, with our brother Baraka doing the opening.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Success is your destiny. Love, wisdom, power. Remember always who you are. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, yes, power. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say yes to yourself. Yes, I am. Protected. Yes, I am. Master. I am. Yes, Ashe, Aho. Would like to thank everyone tonight. Um, Thank you for being born. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for surviving the adolescence airport of our youth. Call upon the I am within me. I am within you, the listening audience, now and in the future. I am within Brother Abdullah. I am within Emilola. I am within Dr. Sunata. I am within Khadija. I am within Miss Bliss. I am within Goddess Kia. I am within Emilola. I am within all the family listening on this platform now and in the future. We, in the name of love, call upon our ascended masters, ancestors. Sheikh Amadou Bamba founded the city of Touba in Senegal. Sheikh Ibrahim, latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko. We invite you upon the platform. Melchizedek, Black Madonna, Mother Mary, Yeshua. Call upon Enoch the Ethiopian who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron. Call upon the ascended master of Northern California, gatekeeper of Mount Shasta, St. Germain. My brother Nikolai Tesla, Wilhelm Reich. Call upon Chief Geronimo, Chief Osceola, Chief Sitting Bull, Chief Crazy Horse, Chief Joseph, Chief Seattle. Call upon White Buffalo Calf Woman, Quetzalcoatl. Call upon Imhotep, Ptahhotep, Akhenaten. We ask the presence of Frederick Douglass, Dr. Booker T. Washington. We call on the Shroom Masters, Dr. George Washington Carver, Harriet Tubman, who took shrooms so she could see and navigate through the darkness. We call upon Mary McLeod Bethune. We call upon the divine feminine energy of Aset, Heteru, to be with us tonight on the platform. We acknowledge Elegba, goddess of love, Oshun, known in many languages and many tongues. Yemaya, Mother Ocean. Oya, goddess of the winds. We call upon Shango, Obatala, Ogun, Ologun, Ochosi to be with us on this platform. We ask Archangel Michael to protect all our brothers, sisters, children, nieces, and nephews, grandfathers, grandmothers, all who are incarnated on the physical realm. Archangel Michael, please protect them wherever they may be. Angel of healing, Archangel Raphael, be with us. Angel of enlightenment, Archangel Uriel, be with us. Thank you. And we call upon the Buddhas on this planet and beyond. We call on the Krishnas on this planet and beyond. We call upon all who are serving the rhythmic, the polyrhythmic call of the heart. Heal our broken hearts, our wounded souls. And we say, Ashe, Donada, Wado, Mahalo, Amen, Amen. Let us begin. Here we go. All right, we got family. We're in for a special treat tonight. I'm going to bring front and center Sister Kia. Where did she go? Where's Sister Kia? Oh, here you are. Sister Kia, I want you to do the opening.
I just got on.
Oh, okay, great. Because I want to give a special acknowledgement to your husband, who made this possible tonight. Yeah. So a special shout out goes to our brother Shaka. Brother Shaka is the one who was instrumental in putting this show together. And he is a very talented brother. And as you can see, his divine feminine reflection is no other than our beautiful Goddess Kia. So Goddess Kia, may we have the honor of you introducing our brother Abdullah tonight.
Yes, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Thank you. May the vibration of my tongue be activated and help healing. So without further ado, Brother Abdullah, thank you. Hank, thank you. And peace and love to all the goddesses on the platform. Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bay is a graduate of Glassboro State College, where he earned a BA degree in sociology. He continued his education pursuits and also acquired a master's degree at Rutgers University Graduate School of Social Work. His greatest impact in the area of inner social reform and birthright consciousness, including literary contributions to the humanitarian cause, came about with his association with activities with the Moors, Order of the Round Table, MOO, the R. Sounds amazing. Years of studies, writings, and participation among the aboriginal and native Moors in the active civic order and school of learning has magnified Abdullah Bay's applicable understanding as to the negative social, political, and economic impacts and negative lore has had upon our people. This broadened his social work knowledgeably, and Brother Bay's accomplishments include owning the publishing 2 newspapers, the Moorish Civil Letter and 1995 Masonic Gate in 2013. Brother Bay served as editor-in-chief, columnist, and distributor for all Moroccan Star newspapers for 3 years, from 2021 to 2003. Brother Bay's passion to assist with political process of restoring treaty protection to the Moors has ignited him to move in the direction of etymology, the study of the origin, and true meaning of words, and under the tutelage of later Professor John Burton and Richardson Bailey at Temple University, PASCEP. Brother Bay studied etymology, basics and advanced grammar, Greek, vocabulary building skills, and poetry. Brother Bay is on staff at Temple University Pan-African Studies Community Education Program, PASCEP, where he has taught etymology to over thousands of adult students since 2003. And since June 2019, Brother Bay has been a member of the Moorish Imperial Restoration Caucus, whose mission is to restore Moorish treaty protection to millions of Moors through the facilitation of the re-establishment of a Moorish national government structure, the re-establishment of diplomatic and consular relations with the European treaty kingdoms, nations, and the implementation of international process, reversions of sovereignty by re-entering the international community of nations as an old and original state. Brother Bay is the author of numerous books. Among those, there are Deceptive Meaning, Attributions to the Names America and American, Etymology and Vocabulary, Vocabulary Supplementary 1, Breaking the Chains of Slavery, The Moors' Rise from Civil Death, Illuminati Illumination, Moors and Masonry, Masonic Compass, and Square and Their Connections to Measurement and Timekeeping, How Her Venus and Moon Rule, Moors and Masonry, Part 2, The Power of Moorish Treaties and Recovery of Lost Moorish Sovereignty, will be available, which will be in 2023. So without further ado, brother Abdullah.
Thank you so much, Sister Akia.
Thank
And
you.
I want to thank all of those who are present, because this is a magical platform tonight. I had the honor of, and I want to thank also Miss Bliss, because we had a conversation. This is what happened was we had a conversation, Miss Bliss, Brother Abdullah, and myself, and he started bringing up the information about some crucial insights upon the suppression of the feminine principle. And I'm going to bring up the picture shortly. And I said, I got to have some sisters on. So I want to thank all of you sisters. Net Bliss, Swords, Salika, Goddess Kia, Emilola, Khadija, Dr. Sunata, because he's about to drop it hot. So, Brother Abdullah Bay, the floor is yours, brother. Based on that book you wrote, I can't pull up the picture yet, but show us in the camera because you got full view. The name of the book is, what is that?
How her Venus and Moon rule.
Tell us about it, brother.
Yes. I'm going to read the back cover, which is actually from an excerpt from another book titled The Great Cosmic Mother, Rediscovering the Religion of the Earth by Monica Sejul and Barbara Moore. And I have an excerpt of that book on my back cover. In the chapter entitled Goddess of the Witches, in their book, The Great Cosmic Mother, Rediscovering the Religion of the Earth, Monica Sejul and Barbara Moore write, quote, "The morning star, also the evening star, is Venus, which along with the moon was observed with very accurate calculations by ancient astronomers worldwide. To the Aztec, it was Quetzalcoatl. To the Mayans, Calcucan. To the Sumerians and Babylonians, it was Inanna Ishtar. When Christians encountered astrological observations and texts on Venus and the moon, they saw only devil worship. Hence, they destroyed library after library containing ancient wisdom and knowledge, including the Mayan astronomical library of Mani, as well as the Library of Alexandria. Mayan astronomical knowledge was probably the most advanced in the ancient world. In 1552, the Spanish friar Diego de Landa, confronting all these texts containing Mayan intellectual brilliance as well as spiritual data, stated that they contained nothing in which there was not to be seen superstitious and lies of the devil, and so we burned them all. Early Christian smashing of Dionic cults in the Mediterranean, as well as large church persecutions of witches in Europe, must be seen in this global context where wherever Christians sought knowledge, herbal, medicinal, astronomical, symbolical, they saw demonism and moved to destroy it. The witch persecutions were not simply aimed at devil worshippers, but an ancient human knowledge of the world. Now, what I focus heavily on in how her Venus and Moon rule is the distortion of our ancient culture, and how that distortion of our ancient culture has had, which is part of social engineering, has had a mental damage effect on our people, particularly our women. The
brother,
fear
question.
factor.
You can relax on the tone because we could hear your volume really good. How does this impact our modern day sisters, man? This information that you're sharing. I mean, here we have a small representation of self-aware sisters. You know, like just looking at look at them. They're all here listening to you, brother. So drop it. Like, why are they doing this to us, man?
All right, the impact is through social engineering, is to inject fear. The fear of our ancient culture. So what they have done was the Europeans have repackaged our culture. And so since you asked that question, I'll give you an example. The devil, not so much the word, but the image. So when people see the image or even hear the word, an image does pop up. You hear the word devil, an image comes to your mind.
Okay.
Of a gory looking creature. But where did that come from? That image that image is nowhere in the world. You cannot find that image. You cannot find that creature in zoos. You cannot find that creature in the wild. You cannot find that creature in the wilderness. Nowhere in the world do you see that creature. So where does it come from?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you. From an ordinary goat. An ordinary goat. This is part of the social engineering to instill fear. They took our ancient symbol of fertility, representing woman and power.
Whoa. Hold on now. We got a sister who wears the pentagram and it looks like a goat. Sword, you have yours with you tonight?
Let me clap for you. Let me clap for you. So she's good. Good. We're going to go into that.
You got your mic on mute, Swords.
Yeah.
You gotta see this, Brother Abdullah. Show them what you be rocking with on the regular.
Well, this is my Eshu. I got this from Brother Azazel. Eshu. I'll be wearing. I don't have on my pentagram, but
yeah, where's your pentagram? Because that's what looked like the goat.
Yeah, let me get.
We're gonna get back to Abdullah. You go find that goat.
All right. So yeah, the way it's positioned, they're tracing it as at the head of a goat. I'm gonna tie into that.
Yeah.
All right. And how it ties to Venus. So let me finish this point here.
Do you think
that the goat is an ancient symbol of fertility? Now, why the goat? The goat because of the crescent-shaped horns. When one first sees the moon, because you don't see the moon during the new moon phase, it's dark. You first see the moon during the first quarter phase, where it's a crescent shape. So the goat was used as a symbol of the moon and fertility. What the Europeans have done, as so eloquently put by Barbara Moore, Soames, and Monica Moore, is sought to destroy it, sought to distort. So what they've done was distorted our culture So the goat has been distorted and misrepresented as the devil and the cause of the world's evil.
Wow. That's a hell of a thing to do to women, man.
So let me explain. Let me continue here on how I used to be afraid of that.
You was afraid of women too?
I used to be afraid of the devil, that image. I used to be afraid of that image. As a child, growing up, I remember myself dreaming.
You ain't scared now, are you?
And that image chasing me.
Wow.
This was several times during my childhood.
Yeah,
and that image chasing me.
She got it right there. Show it again.
What?
Swords? That was that's what you're talking about, Brother Abdullah? That's
what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go into that. Let me, because I'm gonna talk about my personal experience, because it's going to relate to how they injected that. So in my personal experience as a child and dreaming, I could not even wake myself up. I was trying to force to wake myself up out of my sleep. And being afraid of that image up until 2000, I was afraid of an image up until 2012. Up until 2012. Once I began to really recognize and study, the origin of the goat and what it tied to, what I had to do was stare that image they called the devil in the face.
Man, that's deep,
kissed it. I'm not saying you have to do this. This is what I did. This is what I did to overcome the fear. I had to overcome the fear so that my cellular memory would not be blocked. I had to overcome the fear so that I can really connect. So one of the things I did to overcome the fear was put the image up on the computer screen and hug it, kiss it, just to face it, not to be afraid of it.
Sound like maybe some mushrooms might have been helpful then, brother.
Well, it worked. What I'm saying, this worked. What I did worked. But I did
mushrooms or what you did.
My methodology. My methodology worked. Right. My methodology worked. So the first time I presented this presentation on the devil as being the goat being distorted was when I was in Decatur, Georgia. It was Decatur, Georgia in March of 2013. And I was 75 people. I was on stage and I had my PowerPoints. And I had the images of the devil at ordinary goats with a very crescent-shaped horns. I saw people, and I was a little nervous because this was our first time making this presentation on this subject. And I saw the audience taking notes.
I got a question. Are you referring to Baphomet? Is that the image you're referring to?
I'm referring to what they call the devil. That
Baphomet,
image,
the image of the goat.
Right? The image, Baphomet. All right, the image that the image that you know as the devil. The image that you know as the devil. The image that the world knows. The image that the world knows as the devil. That's what I'm referring to. That the world throughout this, because this proliferates throughout the world. The image that the world knows as the devil. That gory looking, that image.
Right. That goat image signified Baphomet is what I'm suggesting.
No, what I'm saying is it signifies the moon. It denotes the moon.
Yeah, we can get into that later, but that's you keep saying the goat image of the devil, but that's what it is. It's a symbolism of Baphomet. It's just been amplified and vilified and distorted, as it went on, but it's Baphomet. That's what it's deriving from. But continue. I'm sorry. I just wanted to clarify.
All right. What I'm saying is that it's derived from an ordinary goat, an ordinary looking goat that you see in the zoo, that you see in the wild. they distorted it because that image that they call the Baphomet doesn't exist in reality. That creature doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
Who created it then?
All right. I don't have the name of the body of people who created the distortion of an ordinary goat.
It sounds like something from Hollywood.
So as the point is not lost. The ordinary goat is the symbol that was used to symbolize the moon because of the crescent-shaped horns. The crescent-shaped horns is the issue because once I said before, when the moon is first seen, you see the crescent. It's a first quarter moon. So as part of a culture idiom, the goat is a symbol of relating to the moon and fertility. I'm going to get into the fertility connection.
Tell us, yeah. You spoke about this earlier.
I don't want my point to get lost about the goat.
Oh, hold on.
It's an ordinary goat. It's not the Baphomet. It's the origin of the devil, and even the Baphomet is an ordinary goat. The Baphomet does not exist in reality.
What it's not a goat. Why do you consider it an ordinary goat again?
No, that you see in the zoo. A goat that you see in the zoo.
Well, actually, we see it more in the backyards here in Brooklyn.
A goat that you would see on the farm. Right. A goat that you see in the zoo.
Yo,
so I'm saying
in the Bronx, it's in backyards and chickens and goats, and they're all over the city, brother. They ain't in no zoos up here.
That is where the origin of it. So the Baphomet image comes from an actual goat. So I won't use ordinary. Thank you, Kia. I won't use the word ordinary. I'll use the word actual. Okay. I'll use the word actual or real. Actual or real goat that you would see in the zoo, or you see on a farm, or in the wild. It's been distorted.
So keep building on that, man. I
want to keep building on that, but the reason I kept going back to it is because I didn't want the point to get lost.
We got that.
This is a major point.
Okay.
This is a major point.
Time-wise, we got to keep it on the flow because we got the goat. Now please connect the moon Friday and how you flowed with that information earlier. And the feminine principle, the original goddess principle, and how that was suppressed. Please.
Absolutely. All right. So the word Friday. So since we talked about earlier, the word Friday comes from the Old Norse word Freya. F-R-I-G-G-A and Freya. Freya. F-R-E-Y-A. It's the goddess. It's the goddess of fertility. It denotes the planet Venus. Mm-hmm. So Friday is the planet Venus. Now, why Venus is in key? When you're looking at, as I read earlier, and looking at the Mayan calendar, the heliacal rising of Venus, which is actually Easter. Easter, Astarte, Ishtar, Asterisk. Easter or heliacal rising of Venus occurs between mid-March and mid-April. It brings about the rain season. There's 260 days. There's a 260-day period.
Hold on, bro. You lost me for a second. You was speaking of what was it, Mayan or Aztec, and then you went to to the bunny battle.
All right, let me read this.
Don't read it, bro. Just talk to us, brother. Don't read that book. We're gonna buy that book.
I'm not gonna read the book. Let me.
Just
the morning star, also known in the evenings as Venus. No, as I read earlier about Venus. Now I'm getting into the more application of it. It's a calendar. It's the Venus calendar, which is a 260-day calendar. That's a Mayan calendar.
Oh, it's a Mayan calendar. Okay.
And Venus is important for planting. Knowing when the plant is very important, because you have to be able to time and calculate the rain season so that agriculture and corn maize can grow. The Lucifer is Venus. Lucifer means light bearer. The Statue of Liberty, the torch above the Statue of Liberty's head, denotes Lucifer, or the planet Venus.
Whoa, that's powerful, brother.
Now,
Hold on a second.
let me go into why.
Us, man. Hold on, you gotta take it slow now. You saying that the Statue of Liberty's torch represents Lucifer,
which is Venus, and I'm going to explain how that's connected. There's 260 days where Venus rises before the sun. It's called the bright and morning star. So that's why it's called Lucifer, light bearer, or the torch bearer, because it rises before the sun for 260 days. There's a 52-day transitional period where now Venus rises after sunset. So Venus can be seen bright in the sky. That's why Lucifer and torch bearer is tied to the planet Venus, because of the brightness it has in the morning for 260-day period and the brightness it has in the evening. So I want to get to the astronomical application, because so that it can have some connection. I have to tie the astronomy.
So all of this is a diabolical disenfranchised agenda for the feminine principle.
Absolutely. Because that is the culture. You're talking about a culture that's tied to the moon. There's, as you said, now we went into I never got it when we talked earlier about the number 7. The number 7 relates to the moon. There's 7 days between each major moon phase, and you can go count it. There's nothing to believe in. It's all to count in. You count from the new moon to the first quarter moon. There's 7 days. From the first quarter moon to the full moon, 7 days. From the full moon to the last quarter moon, 7 days. From the last quarter moon back to the new moon, 7 days. So the 28 days is tied to the moon. The word menses means moon.
All
so
right.
the moon governs the woman's menstrual cycle. The moon revolves around the earth in a 28-day period. So the women are walking lunar calendars.
Wow. So why is Islam attached to the symbol of Islam is the moon and the star? How does that tie into Islam, my brother?
That's not that's not the Islam is not the origin of it. The Islam is not the origin of the 5-pointed star and the crescent moon.
It's used proliferous. I mean, it's used today.
I know that happened. I understand that they use it. I'm saying I got to go to origin though. I still got to go to origin and bring it back. I still got to go to origin. All right, because you're going back 10,000 years. Let's go back 10,000 years then.
God is here. Was you getting ready to say something?
I said he's an etymologist. That was in the bio, so he always going to go back to the origin of things.
Yeah. I can't start with Islam. I gotta go back to Sumerian. All right, I go back to Canaanite. I gotta go back to Babylon. Wow. All right. So because you're looking at in the Sumerian clay tablets, there's thousands of Sumerian clay tablets.
Right.
You'll see an 8-pointed star as well as a crescent-shaped moon. The crescent-shaped moon is predominant. You'll see that also on coins that are over 2,000 years old. You'll see the 5-pointed star as well as the crescent-shaped moon and on coins. So it doesn't start, but the key is that it's not a symbol of worship. It's the representing the actual moon. So what we're going to do is let's take it off of the coin. Let's take it off of the flag. Let's take it off of that, because that's not the origin. Let's take it off of the wall. Let's take it off of a Sumerian clay tablet. Let's put it back into the sky. Let's place our mind into the sky. Because as long as we just fixed on clay tablet or flag, then we're fixed on a symbol as opposed to its actual body heaven and its function in civilization. So I want to give its application and function for timekeeping and measurement. Because with that's also part of the distortion, is to get us to take the moon, the sun, Sirius, the dog star, Venus, and to focus just on at there being symbols. They're not symbols. That meaning, if you drew me a picture of the moon and say that's the moon, you'll be incorrect. That's not epistemology. A picture cannot be the moon. A picture cannot be the sun. You say, well, Abdullah, this is the sun. No, that's not the sun. Let's go outside. You're mistaken. Let's go outside and look at, well, right now, let's go.
We got you. On the,
all right.
Purpose of time. Take it piece by piece.
My point is that we got to move away from the concept of symbols to the actuality of astronomy and in its application in calendar making and navigation and agriculture and timekeeping and measurement. Get to the origin of it is the epistemology, which is a branch in philosophy of deals with how one knows knowledge.
Okay, so one question, Brother Abdullah, how does this connect with personal empowerment for brothers and sisters today, knowing that, okay, the moon represents the feminine principle, even in religion, and goes back to Sumerian times and Babylonian times? How does that knowledge going to help our sisters who are listening to you tonight?
All right. There's millions of people, including brothers, who are afraid of the devil. They're afraid of the devil.
So you're saying the sisters of the devil? I mean, where are we going with this?
No, I'm saying is they're afraid of the image. But if they can reverse that psychology and take the distortion that the Europeans presented, take how the Europeans repackaged our culture and distort it with the motive to inject fear in us. So how it would help is to reverse the polarity of fear, and to take what they presented to us and have in true meaning of it, and no longer be afraid of it.
Okay, so
their power makes
just so that you hold the audience, bro. What it sounds like is, what comes to my mind is the witch burning in Europe, and the Vatican suppressing all the feminine, intuitive healing arts. So what they're saying is they're trying to make men fear the feminine principle, and now in modern times they're trying to replace the woman with a trans movement. Is that where you're tying it all together?
No, I'm not tying that to the trans movement. What I'm talking about is in answering your question. I'm answering your question of reversing the polarity of the fear. To reverse the polarity of the fear, you have to look the fear in its eye. Look fear in its eye and have a knowledge of what they did. Have a knowledge of how they distorted our culture. That they're using the fear tactic. For again, another thing, let me give another example. The word sin. The word sin is a Sumerian name for the moon. We are all born in sin, which is a good thing. I mean, we're born into fertility. So it's impossible not to be born in sin. All right, let me explain. The ovaries. So you have the sperm traveling up the birth canal, going into the fallopian tube, and right into the ovary. All right. So in order for the woman to get pregnant, the egg has to be what? Fertilized. That is being born in sin, meaning that as the word sin is simply the Sumerian name for the moon. Moon is modern English, lunae is Latin, sin is Sumerian. So what they've done was taken born in sin to be a bad thing, to be evil.
Man, that's something.
If I hit ink.
Oh, slow down for a second, brother. Do you realize you dropping this information saying that the word sin really means the feminine principle?
No,
born
moon.
in sin, born from the woman.
It's tied to the feminine principle. It means moon. It means moon.
The word sin.
It's a Sumerian name for moon.
Means moon.
Modern English word is moon. Latin is lunae. Sin is Sumerian. Go outside, you'll see sin. It's a gibbous moon. You see sin outside.
You're messing with our wiring, brother. I'm glad you on the show tonight. You jacking us up, man.
Well, that's my purpose.
You know, yeah, this is okay. Listen, this brother is going to be teaching more. We're going to have you again on this platform. He's going to be teaching classes in the future so that we can learn how to really apply, get rewired back to the natural order of things. And that's why just listening to, and I want to thank you again, Sister Kia. I want to thank Brother Shaka, because they're the ones who brought forth Abdullah. I met him years ago, but this is the first time he's on the platform. But knowing what you're sharing, I mean, getting to know what you're sharing, I mean, the Judeo-Christian concepts, the first thing you think of sin, you think of yourself as doomed. So what you're saying is it's a mind bend of liberating ourselves from the colonized mindset. And this is very powerful. I mean, this is powerful, brother. We got to have you come back again, because we jacked up. We all need to do some microdosing before you come on so that we can really wire up and get the distortions out of our paradigm. Everything is upside down and ass backwards from what you're dropping. So continue, please. And sisters, if you want to share something, because, you know, you got some heavyweights in here, brother. You know, like Net Bliss is heavy, Swords is heavy, Khadija, Salika, there's some heavyweights. Kia, Milo La, you know, they're listening to you. They're getting rewired. But I got to say, damn, I'm a sinner. You know what that means? You know how that's going back.
I just want
I'm a sinner. That's a whole new track.
Y'all hear? I just want to make sure I understand and understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. That we apply this information to our personal lives by getting the fear by just basically taking the fear out of our heads in regards to the image of the devil.
All right. Because what would that do? All right. By doing that, it will now open you up. You'll be able to receive. See what? All right. Our sisters do receive downloads. They've been taught, indoctrinated to believe that's the devil. You know, or I have visions. Oh, that's the devil. Oh, because it's natural. It's natural. So what they've done, the European occupiers and colonizers of our Moorish land, is they inject the fear factor. So now they don't have to be with us physically, but they are part of us mentally. They're part of our mental psyche, because they are the ones that implanted the fear in us. So they're with us 24/7.
Fear of what? The feminine principle?
All right. But they don't know it's the feminine principle.
Oh.
They call it the devil. They don't know that the devil character is the origin of the devil character is the feminine principle. They don't know that.
Oh, the devil made me do it.
Okay. I mean, I think they know. That's why they came up with religion.
Mm.
And the feminine principle must be very powerful for them to be concentrating on that, to put fear in there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's why
Very
they
powerful.
Because what is opposite
wishes.
principle, and why are they not concentrating on the opposite?
I mean, we all come from the mother.
Emotional beings, and you have to have emotions to have intuition.
Wow.
You have to have emotions to have intuition.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
Right.
I know one thing, if I can insert one aspect that actually came to me as you all were talking. So I can resonate with a lot of the things that you said, but what I want to share is that we often tend to delineate in terms of saying, if it's of the moon, it has to be feminine, and if it's of the sun, masculine. But the fact of the matter is that within the moon and the sun, they're both masculine and feminine aspect. In the same way, a man, you all who present in this dimension as men, you have both energies within you. It's just in different capacities. And us women, we have both energies in us. We just have it just present in different proportions. So what I'm getting at is that with it in ancient mythology and religion and spiritual system, even within the moon, you had God and goddesses. And even within the sun, you had God and goddesses. So whether you study Sumerian religion, whether you study Egyptian religion, even if you want to go into West African, you want to study Ifa, you want to study all these things, because at the end of the day, all of these energies is the same source, but it just present differently based on the grid lines in which they're manifesting. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No,
So
I do understand what you're saying,
So-
and those are great. I do understand what you're saying, and those are great points. But those are points. Those points I'm not talking about. I do agree with what you're saying.
Yeah,
So
I just want, but what
so
that's why I wanted to intercept, because I just want to make it clear that because we're often one track when we're talking about these things. And I get what you're saying about the fear mongering, because I think we were all raised in a Christian system, and that also affected me, because as a child I used to be able to navigate within realms. I didn't know that's what I was doing. I didn't know what it was, but I get what you're saying in terms of the fear mongering. But at our age, we are in a different position. So just to get our minds straight into that, it's not one side or the other, because within the moon and within that feminine principle, there's also some masculine, which is why some men have a difficult time understanding some of us women, and then they tend to label us as masculine. No, this is feminine energy. Feminine energy is not one thing, it's many things. In the same way, masculine energy is not one thing, there are many things, and they're all both intertwined with each other. That's it. I'll land right there.
I agree with what you're saying, but that's not where I'm going with this presentation. I don't disagree with you. Meaning that I had to focus on, I can't say everything in the presentation. So my focal point was dealing with timekeeping and measurement, is to show the sisters that there are walking lunar calendars. So I'm getting into the astronomical aspect of it, and timekeeping and biorhythmic aspect of it. All right. Your points are very well taken, but I want to focus more so on the biorhythmic aspect of the moon and how the moon governs the woman menstrual cycle. The word menstrual means moon.
We all know that. I think you're dealing with a group that already knows that.
Yeah, well, we're talking to the general audience because this is a live show, and I do want to say this. What you was just saying, Bliss, there is in the masculine, as you see in the orange, a little bit of the feminine. And in the feminine heavens, there is some masculine. However, in this physical realm, you have to have the proportions holding balance correctly in order to sustain life. Now, what Abdullah just said
Okay.
is revolutionary because women have been miseducated to put too much fire in their brain instead of staying energetically connected with their wombs. So what our brother Abdullah Bay is speaking of is showing the science of getting out of your mental tomb, my sisters, and getting into your crystal womb, to be womb centric in your lifestyle. So brother Abdullah Bay, thank you for that insight, and please continue, because so many of our modern day contemporary women are acting on fake masculine energy, which is causing hair loss, and their demeanor is without a skirt, more with pants. So we are outside of our nature because we have become unnaturally imbalanced, because the major agenda is global annihilation of the Black woman. And
It's
yet everywhere. So
also
please continue, brother Abdullah.
it's important that we get this out to millions of our sisters. All right. So I don't focus. I'm not even just, my energy is not just on the sisters I see now and those who are watching live. Is to present this in a way in which you can present this to your children, your mother, your sisters, your brothers, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins. I always think like that. So I'm going to present it in a way in which the common people can understand, because my mind is always on the masses of our people. I never just focus on those who are listening to me at this moment. Is to effectuate, is be able to have you see it, those who hear me and watching me, to understand it in such a way that you can impact, influence your children, your mothers, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, your co-workers. I always think that way, always.
Oh, I heard a kitty cat when that happened.
That's an ashe.
That was an ashe from a cat.
He mentioned about the moon. I noticed that when I try to manifest something, when I start off, when the moon is waxing, it will manifest by the new moon. You know what I mean? Like when I move with the moon, I can manifest when I go with the moon. It's just like when you plant something. If you plant a certain time, but my grandfather used to plant a certain time like the full moon.
Mm-hmm.
He would go by the moon to plant the food in Jamaica. I remember that.
And they say even cutting your hair, that you are not supposed to cut your hair. And this is in rhythm with the moon as well. You don't cut your hair after the full moon. You always, that's something that we practice, growing up. I'm from Panama, and even cutting your hair, there are a lot of rituals that you don't do after the full moon. So there are many things that are governed by the moon.
All right.
Yeah.
So
this is
once again, my focus was to put the tension on women. So I don't disagree with those points, but I want to focus on the women, because we have to empower our women and to have them see that they have a biorhythmic connection with the moon. Hence the meaning of hence the etymology of the word menses. Hence the etymology of the word moon or month. Month means moon. Menses means moon. Menstrual cycle. Menstruation means moon. So how many days are there in a week? How many days are there? How many days are there in a week? 7 days in a week, right? No, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. There's 7 days
in a society that
there's 7 days in a week in a lunar calendar. Hear me out.
Okay.
Just hear me out. Because there's not 7 days in a week. That's incorrect. That's too general. You got to tie it to a calendar. There's 7 days in a week in a lunar calendar.
So what is the solar calendar?
All right. There's 7 days between each, as I said before. Reason why I'm repeating this point, because I asked the question, how many days are there in a week? and everybody will say 7 days, and they will be incorrect because they would not tie it to a specific calendar. You have to first identify the calendar. All right, and 7 days in the week in the lunar calendar. There's 7 days between each major moon phase. So in the Caesarean calendar, there's 10 days in a week.
In which
So
calendar?
we have to tie it. We got to look at what calendar system. We have
Say
the
that
solar
other
calendar.
one. What's the other one? The other calendar you spoke of?
The Egyptian Sirius calendar.
The
dogs
Sirius
for-
calendar has 10 days.
10 days in a week.
But what good is that if we in this society using a 7-day week, even though they're on a
All right. All right. You have different calendar systems. You have your lunar, your pure lunar calendar. You have your solar calendar. You have your solar lunar calendar. The solar lunar calendar is where the solar calendar and the lunar calendar are combined. They use a system of intercalation. And when you add a day, a week, or month, because you're talking about two different calendar systems. And I'm saying that the general public's not aware of this.
okay.
So I
just want to
yes.
what good is it going to do the sisters on this platform, whether it's a lunar calendar or a solar calendar, if they're disconnected from their wombs? How is this knowledge going to help the sisters who are able to bring forth life, but they can't bring forth money?
All right.
If they're able to bring forth life, how knowing about a lunar calendar and a solar calendar, how are they going to be able to manifest better than they are presently? That's what I want to ask you.
All right. I remember you have to talk about what I said in its totality. You're taking a bit of what I'm saying. Your question is based on a bit of what I'm saying. I'm talking about their whole conversation. So as I'm presenting, all right, I'm presenting this in its totality to get across the power that women have, the intuitive power that women have, and the distortion of our culture, which has injected fear in us, which actually suppresses our divine intuitive mind by removing or reversing the polarity of fear by explaining the astronomical origin and true meaning of what the moon is, or what Friday the 13th is, or what Lucifer is, or what sin is, or what the devil is. These aspects have been distorted, which suppresses our intuitive mind and separates us mentally from our culture. So that the motive is just to do that. One, women do not know the power of the number 13 and how it's connected to the moon. They're afraid. They've been taught that the number 13 is unlucky. They've been taught that. So therefore, women not being taught the moon and how the moon governs their menstrual cycle 13 times, not 12. So women are only counting 12, not 13. So by restoring this ancient knowledge of fertility, of how the moon governs the woman and the woman's menstrual cycle, you had in societies where you had women who were living in the same house, their menstrual cycles will become balanced and harmonic. So the point I'm making here is to reverse the fear effect. Reverse the fear effect that's been launched not only on the women, but also on the men.
Yeah, how can the brothers assist in making sure that we stay in tune with our divine mind so we can be able to manifest the money that we want? What role do the brothers play with this subject matter?
All right. the role that the brothers play, but this knowledge will enable brothers to appreciate women and womanhood by having a knowledge of woman and her divinity, that have a greater appreciation. There's brothers who have appreciation. I'm talking about a greater appreciation. So those who have appreciation for women have a greater appreciation for women. Those who don't have appreciation for women start appreciating women. Remember, women, keep in mind, on the women, they use women for commercials to sell beer. They use women to sell cars. All right, women are dressed scantily. Women are dressed scantily to sell beer. All right, I won't name the restaurant. I won't name the restaurant, but it's a restaurant that begins with the letter H. There's a restaurant that begins with the letter H, where women wear these short skirts. All right. So women are being exploited. So young boys.
I have a question.
Let me finish this point, please. Let me finish this point. So
Sure.
young boys seeing these commercials of women dressed scantily, selling cars, selling beers, selling different ads. What does that do?
Scantily.
All right, go ahead. Yes.
Okay. My question is, thank you very much for your speaking. My question is, after we have reversed the fear, factor, and we're no longer afraid of the devil or whatever. After we reverse this fear, what exactly can we do? How can we begin to count and calibrate and calculate to be better people, to manifest better? How do we actually use this crescent moon goat horn thing you speak of and everything to be divine women that we are meant to be? How specifically?
All right, so now, Kia, you have the flyer up. Do you have the flyer for the 14th? Is the flyer the 14th in your presence? All right, that's because I'm going to answer a question by talking right. This leads right into the 14th.
Send it to Hank. Hank, I think you have the flyer. You can put it up.
But I'm saying you can read it. Read send the flyer to Hank so he could post it. And also I want you to read the title.
We can't hear you, Hank.
Okay.
I'm going to respond to that while I'm pulling up the flyer.
Right, because I want to.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, Abdullah. Hold on, Abdullah. Attention goes where energy flows where your attention goes. Energy flows where your attention goes. So if you focus your attention on your womb energy, you will be able to manifest magic in your life. And I'm just sharing that while I pull up the flyer. Right.
All right. The reason why I went to Kia to the flyer, so I can answer the sister question, because we got to talk about political protection. The political in order to flourish, if we're under attack, if our land is being colonized and we're under political attack, and Inter Caetera Divina, Pope Alexander's decree, papal decree of March 4th, 1493 is being applied, the doctrine of discovery. That our birthright, they're controlling our birthright, and they're putting drugs, and we have no political power. So we got now, that's why I going straight to the flyer to talk about the upcoming presentation, because we have to restore the political protection for our people. So in order to express, and so I'm answering the sister question, to really actuate in its fullness, we must address colonization matters. So we must restore political protection. We must restore a Moorish governmental body to address mass denationalization, colonization of our land, the land theft issues, the recovery of our lost Moorish sovereignty, in order to really truthfully to express and to elevate our minds, we have to address the issue of conquest and subjugation of our people.
So the flyer is called The End Game and is Restoring the Moorish Body Politics. It's going to be on December 14th from 7 p.m. To 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we can do a live stream as well. Do you feel like you had clarity with that answer, sister?
We went to the political restoration and stuff. I was asking the specific because you're talking about calculations, right? I was asking the calculations and what are we supposed to count with the moon cycle and we crescent, waxing, like full, new. What is it specifically that we're supposed to do as women to be more, you know what I'm saying, in alignment?
All right.
Oh, no.
All right. There's 28 days. We have a 28-day menstrual cycle. All right. The moon revolves around the earth in 28 days, 13 times. Women are not conscious of that connection of their menstrual cycle, and that their menstrual cycles are being governed by the moon. There's a time in which women were conscious of that. So they were able to chart 13 menstrual cycles and not 12. And this, so you're dealing with the sexual energy. You're dealing with an understanding that women are walking lunar calendars, and they have a big biorhythmic connection with the moon. That's a consciousness.
So you got to make it simpler, bro. What they're asking for is, if I'm not mistaken, Emilo's asking, how does she become more in touch with her moon essence? And other sisters, you're welcome to give suggestions, but Abdullah, please touch on that first. What's the remedy for a woman to become more feminine?
I'm talking about specifically with the counting that you speak of. Because you said
13. I'm saying you count 13. Count 13 moon cycles. I'm saying count 13, chart by the number 13. So I'm being specific here.
How about the women that are pregnant too?
All right.
And they don't have any period or anything, moon cycle.
All right.
How do they count?
They don't be pregnant and have a moon cycle. What are you talking about, Emilola?
No, I'm just saying, like, how do you use the moon to count? You know, like, oh, when the moon is new moon, I should, you know, like Swords was saying earlier, when she manifests at a certain time and where she does a ritual at a certain time and it manifests at a certain time, you know, a lot of people may not know that. So, like, I was just asking, like, can you explain that to the masses so they could know how to actually use the moon to manifest or to be better people?
All right.
That's all.
My answer to your question is the same. It's the same. The number 13. The number 13 has been suppressed in its connection to the moon. The number 13 has been misrepresented as unlucky. There are buildings that don't have, you'll have the elevator that doesn't have the number 13 on it.
This is true.
They don't stop, elevators don't stop at the number 13. So there's been a concentrated effort, an all out effort to suppress the number 13 in its connection to the moon. I'm saying count 13, 28 days, times 13. There's 28 days. Now, because you'll be
slow down, bro. Do that again. 13, 28 goes into 13 how many times?
28 times 13. 28 times 13. Yes, 28. There's 28 days. The moon revolves around the earth in 28 days. Right. 13 times a year.
Okay, now we got that.
13 times a year.
Okay.
So when we're doing our manifestation, when we're doing our rituals, when we're doing our meditation, we must add that 13.
13.
For these things to manifest in completion. Is that what you're saying?
No, yes, 13.
Right.
Absolutely.
to add that on there and we will see better results.
Yes.
Okay.
One, because what you'll be doing, that's not only for yourself, but for the society. Because what you're now doing is reversing the polarity of the fear of the number 13.
So you're saying
so what you're doing is you're using social engineering in the positive, in the reverse. It's reverse polarity with the knowledge, and you're able to apart this information onto our people. So not just the sisters here. Once again, as I said, I think, holistically. I think our people as a whole. How do we get this to our people as a whole? Well, one way to do it is be on shows like this that I can share this with others, and then they can in turn share with others.
Okay, hold your thought there, brother. I would like to hear from some of the sisters what your take is on. Salika, tell us, how are you impacted by this information?
Some of the information I'm familiar with because I was kind of raised differently. Now, I just want to ask you a question, Abdullah. Are you, I know that you're of the Moorish system in terms of, spirituality. I know that the Ethiopian calendar, the new year is September 12th. That's the actual new year, but they go by, I forget the name of the calendar. I think some of what you're talking about is similar in the Ethiopian culture and how they perceive the moon. Now, where I come from, my father was a high priest and he worked with the moon cycle on certain occasions. I never asked him, I just, because he was an elder, you know what I'm saying? And I think it was his job to do certain things in the place where we used to go and worship. So I'm asking, is that similar to Ethiopian, the calendar that you speak of?
Because this is ancient and universal culture.
Right,
let me address your use of the word spirituality. All right, because this is important. The etymology of the word spirit means breath.
Right.
Lighting a candle is not spirituality.
Right.
Praying is not spirituality.
Right.
Lighting incense is not spirituality.
Correct.
Let me give an example of spirituality. I'm demonstrating spirituality.
Yes, you are.
The spirituality is the science of control and systematic breathing.
Yes.
Right. So the system of spirituality is system prana, prana, yoga.
Yes.
All right. So those are different.
I'm certified in the Kundalini meditation. Yes.
No, I wanted the general public to those who are listening, those who be listening, that the word spiritual, because of connotative meanings and the social engineering, the word spirituality is not known by the general public. So I just wanted to be, because people think that spirituality is lighting a candle, going to church. That's not spirituality. It has everything to do with breathing, and the etymology will give you insight into this culture application. What the Yabayans have done was taking our words out of its culture application and norms. Therefore, it gives it a distorted meaning in application.
Right.
I just wanted to give opportunity because that gave the opportunity to give the etymology of the word spirituality.
Thank you, Brother Abdullah. Sister Bliss, what would you like to share to this?
Hi, I'm just taking it all in.
That's very feminine of you.
Similarly, I've heard a lot of the information before. So I just have one question, and thank you, Brother Abdullah, for all the information. I have a question in reference to moon cycles and the role that it plays in which day or moon cycle someone is born on. And how does that manifest in their life? Can you provide? I have knowledge about mine, but this is a topic that's not often talked about. So can you elaborate? Do you have any information on that?
All right.
So for instance, like me, I was born on a full moon, and I know how that manifests in my, astrology and astronomically, how that manifests for me. But that's a conversation that a lot of people don't pay attention to. So I was wondering if you can just touch on that a little bit.
Well, that you're going into the astrology aspect of it, and that is not a strong area for me. The astrology, my area is more astronomy. Been putting a lot of time and study in astronomy. All right. So if you're talking astrology, so I'm gonna say to you that is not a strong suit for me, dealing with more detail on how different planets alignments affects the particular individual. But I can go all day long on astronomy.
Well, no, it's not necessarily just astronomy, because I was specifically talking about the moon and the moon cycle in terms of when a person is born, when they enter into this dimension, and what moon cycle they enter on, how it affects their life, especially us women. As we enter into this dimension, the moon cycle that we enter on plays a very prominent role in our lives. So that's not dealing with, just astrological signs. No, it's dealing with the moon cycle itself. So I was just hoping you could elaborate on that.
What I'm saying is that the moon is in a sign. When you're born, the moon, I have a Virgo moon. So the moon is in so it's not just only the moon cycle, but it's the sign in which the moon is in at the time you're born. And I'm saying that so if you're talking about getting a reading on that falls in.
That's not my question. No. That's not. I wasn't asking about. Maybe you're not understanding my question. I don't think you are. It sounds like it. I'm not talking about the moon sign, people's moon sign. No, I'm talking about moon phase. Whether it's a full moon, whether it's a new moon, whether it's a waxing moon, or whether it's a waning moon. That's what I'm talking about. Moon phase, not moon.
I misunderstood your question. Then I can answer.
Yeah.
I misunderstood your question. Then I can answer that.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
You have the full moon. You have what's called waxing and waning moon. The waxing and waning. When you're looking at a new moon, and when you're talking about planning activities or even your body activities, the moon is building. The new moon. The new moon is where it's at a weak point, and it builds up. So it's beginning its waxing phase. So it moves from 7 days later, it's the first quarter moon. And it's at a point where it's also good to begin planning in a new moon phase, because you're planning where the energy is going to begin to build up. All right. So then you're moving into the full moon. So the full moon is dealing with the manifestation period. So and then now you're going into the waning period, where now the energy is decreasing. But there's certain things that you can do, i.e., we talked about cutting your hair, as you mentioned. All right, you would do that if you don't want it to grow fast. You would do that during a waning moon, or cutting grass. That's doing through the waning moon, or doing operations.
My question was in terms of how people enter into this realm, and the moon phase in which we enter into this realm, how it affects us. That was my question, not necessarily day-to-day activity.
So I did understand your question. I did. And I was saying to you that still would be directed to astrology. Astrology.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. So I did understand the question.
Okay.
So it can affect us depending on when we come through the canal. It can.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I was asking him. Could he elaborate more? But he said that's not his area.
Right.
But I know it does affect us. It definitely, and that's why I said it's not a topic that people talk about often. So I was wondering, could you elaborate on that? Because I think a lot of people will benefit from that topic. No, because it has a lot to do with how we manifest as well. in terms of how we enter into this realm, which cycle we enter in, and how we are able to better manifest. So that's why I was asking. But it's okay, we can discuss it.
I got you. Yeah, I can't answer that.
I think that I might be able to help assist in a little bit. I don't know
Mhm.
if this will make sense to your question that you asked. What is your name again? What's
His
your name
name is
again?
Abdullah.
Abdullah.
No, not Abdullah. The other
Sister.
young lady
Oh,
that
yes,
asked.
yes, I think yes.
I just
You talking about
remember hearing.
Bliss?
Excuse me.
That's Sister Bliss.
Oh, okay. Bliss, I think I can answer your question in a way that maybe you can have make some sense of this. I remember listening to, I forget his name, but he was saying that Saturn, we know, is a dark planet. And scientists had done studies on people who were serial killers, murderers, rapists, and all that. And they said that when Saturn was in their womb, when they were being born, and the timing that they came through the birth canal, they can always know for sure that these people would end up being murderers and rapists from birth. So you were saying that when you come through the birth canal, that it is, all of that means something. So when you go to any astrologer and you ask, they want to do your birth chart, they'll always ask you what time you were born. Because the timing means something. It's not just 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or you're born on that day, and the timing doesn't mean anything. So I think, to your question, it does have something to do with coming through the birth canal at that time. Although there is no construct of time on Earth, we've created time, but the timing of somebody who is of that, nature will end up, especially in the Saturn, which is a dark planet, as opposed to what planet you were coming through at the time, what your zodiac sign was, and all that makes a difference in what your path will be along the way, along with the mindset of the mother giving birth at that time. If there was trauma to that vaginal area, that child picks it up because it's born in that fluid. So whatever she was going through, thinking about, and even goes further back into that, when you, the male who's entering that portal, I was taught that the man is supposed to pray before you go into a temple, physically, and when you enter the temple of the vagina, you pray before you enter in. Now, if her mind is in the right state of mind, and they're coming together at that time, and they're making love, and not, for better lack of a better term, and not actually with that F word, fucking, you're going to come up with a pure seed. Now, I was also, I don't know if anybody has heard of this, but I was also raised with what you have what's called a cosmic urge. Now, a cosmic urge is something that is kind of out of this world, because I experienced that. But that would be the perfect time to bring forth a master child, if you will. So when you're making love or having sex with somebody, just in case, because we were taught that, if you're gonna have sex, whatever, when you're young or whatever, and you're still a virgin, and these things aren't in place, and you don't know these things, then make sure that you're in love with that person. This way, that there are better chances of a child coming forth. Or if you're going to manifest something, make sure your mind is in the right state of mind. Make sure that your body is clean, that you manifest the best thing you want, not just a child. Does that help answer? I can't hear.
Oh, I think my mic was on mute. But yeah, you took it to a different level, but it was very great information that you provided.
Okay.
What I was talking about, and I know, like I said, it's not that I am not cognizant of the information, but I was talking about there are 8 phases of moon cycle in which people enter into this dimension. And that phase, you can look up your phase and you can find out how it affects your life as women and men, because we are all born, enter into this dimension under moon cycle. So specifically, of course, we all know the crescent, we know the full moon, the new moon. So based on that cycle, based on that, the position of the moon, when you come into this dimension, is what some of the challenges that you will have and or gains that you can have, and how to properly manifest is what I was referring to. But what you provided is definitely some beautiful and growing information in order to help us amplify. Thank you.
That sounded beautiful love making.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I loved it. I loved
The
it.
cosmic urge is you're really out of this realm. It's unbelievable.
But it's, I found it interesting that you mentioned the moon and Saturn, because Saturn is also feminine energy, a feminine planet, but a lot of people don't know. Well, actually, it's sexless. It's both. It can be both, but is in many religion, in many spiritual system, it's a feminine energy. Saturn. It's a very, yeah. So it's funny that they correlate when the moon is in Saturn, that these people tend to behave a certain type of way. So
well, it's interesting because they said all wars usually start around when the Saturn is present.
Interesting.
It is interesting. I never knew that, but I was like, what? Saturn is really, yeah.
Yeah, Saturn in ancient religion, Saturn is denoted as a feminine energy. Yeah.
Amazing. So with this information, I know the focus point is for the female, right, to really live in her divine femininity, using the moon as a guide and using the 13th number. And what role, I mean, how could this benefit the men? You know what I'm saying? Because they have some fears, right? A lot of men have been told, have seen that image, right? This goat image, the AKA the devil image, and kind of associated that with women being the devil. So what fears do they need to peel down, and how could they use the moon to help them with anything that they desire? Maybe they want to manifest a wife, or manifest a child themselves, or manifest money themselves. How can they use this, and what fears do they have to peel back in order to be their greatest on this realm?
They would have to go through some process that I went through mentally. All right. She was talking about myself, being very afraid of that image, and I had to overcome my fear, and I was able to, and as a result of that, I was able to write this book. All right. I was able to see more. I was able to make more connections, with a liberated mind, and not being, cast with this fear, and, therefore, and even having a greater appreciation, because I've always appreciated women. So, I mean, so I'm not going to say I started appreciating women. I've always appreciated women. It's a greater appreciation and respect and honor with having the knowledge of the divinity of women.
Yeah, because they have low vibration sex, then they have high vibration sex. And low vibration is when you're just looking at ass and titties. And then high vibration is from the heart up. You know what I'm saying? And there's more than one ways to manifest besides the moon. You just have to be lined up with nature, because we are nature. We are not separated from nature. You have to be lined up mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. You have to be lined up to manifest. That's another way you can manifest also. You have to mentally agree, physically agree, spiritually agree, and emotionally agree on what you're trying to manifest. You can't just say I want something, but you're not mentally feeling it or emotionally feeling it.
Absolutely.
Feel it.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to add on to that.
Boom, boom, boom. There we go. So what was just said right now, right? So now tie that into the calculation of this moon you speak of, meaning when do you get into that? When is the best time to get into that? I'm sorry.
So, you get into that anytime, as long as you're lined up with nature. Because
of course, I understand that, but I'm just saying.
I mentioned the 4 elements. The emotions is water. Your words are the air. Physical is earth. You know what I'm saying? You have to.
No, I understand that. I'm just talking about the purpose of the show, like the counting of the moon cycle. Like, is it at the crescent time? Or is it waxing time? You know what I mean?
from my experience, when I start on the waxing, I always manifest what I want by the new or full moon. When I start off with the waxing crescent.
Right, right.
That's
So
what he's asking, like, when is the best time? You're going to strategically do this love making, manifest what you want to. When is like the strategic time to do it? So waxing, I guess that's a good answer.
So is waxing day 1, day 2, day 5, day 13?
okay, so I just wanted to kind of add on to that, seeing as all of us as women, we all have different cycles, and to kind of go back to what Brother Abdullah was saying earlier about women just inherently being intuitive, right? And just understanding where we are with our own moon cycles. Not every woman's going to have their period on the full moon or go through ovulation while waxing is going on. You know, we all have different cycles, even though the moon energy itself holds a particular energy and may do a certain may perform a certain task overall, but we all react to it differently. So as women, we can intuitively tune in to what our bodies need. You know, like what Swords mentioned earlier, it doesn't really work out unless it's during the time of waxing. You know, that may be different for another woman. But as long as we are able to remove the fear and remove the pre-programming, we can intuitively tap into our own schedules, which inherently will naturally, coincide with nature itself and with Earth and the planets itself. The Earth, the universe.
Experimenting to do, sisters.
Yeah, a lot of experiment. A lot.
I mean, the Earth, the energy, everything itself is dependent on us as a collective. So everything that's going on in the world is also going on within us, as above, so below. So you can't take that out of the equation because, everything is frequency. We're all reacting and acting with the frequencies that are around us.
Your reality is what you pay attention to, though.
Exactly.
And also remember, there are some women that only, young ladies that only menstruate maybe 1 to twice a year. And there are women that are in menopause that probably can use the same frequency of the moon to manifest as well. You don't need the menstrual cycle to do that kind of work. So, yeah.
Right.
That
every woman has
a nail right there, because you can do one or two things. If your period, if your cycle is not correlated with the moon cycle, you can either go by your personal cycle or you can go by the moon cycle. But I wanted to touch on something that Sword said in terms of sex from the top up. The challenge that we present as feminine women is that we also can transmute our heart energy down to our womb. So it's not always just from the top up, because we remember the womb is our channel. The womb is our portal.
No, I was saying.
Hold your thoughts, Swords. Finish what you're saying, Bliss.
Yeah, she misunderstood.
No, I didn't misunderstand you. But go ahead. Since you interrupt, go ahead.
I was saying there's low vibration sex, meaning the person only like you because you got a big titties and big ass. That's what I mean when I said that.
Yeah,
without reference to the moon. And high vibration sex is when you're having sex from the heart, the throat.
Yeah, that's what you said, from the heart up. So I wanted to elaborate. I didn't misunderstand you.
You got to focus on the womb from the heart.
No, I didn't misunderstand you at all. I just wanted to amplify and also mention that the vibration doesn't have to go from the heart up, because it's not. That doesn't denote high vibration sex.
Yes, you do, because if the guy don't like you like that.
Second, let me just finish. Let me finish. Because I listen. So I wanted to clarify that I didn't misunderstand you. It's just that we can also transmute our heart energy into our womb. So it doesn't always have to go up. It can also go down, because at the end of the day, we are a vessel. So within our body are all energies. So we transmute it from the brain up, which goes back to what Aunt was saying in terms of when we use too much mental energy, then a lot of us women are losing our hair and we're experiencing a lot of physical manifestation of that because we are manifesting upwards rather than being able to also transcend in both directions. That's all.
That's the right word,
I land right there.
Well, I know one thing, when it comes to our menstrual, I think that we have to take into account just the foods that we eat too. It plays a major, major role. What we call menstrual we may not be operating from the right cycle to begin with. And I honestly know that we're not going to connect to the moon the way we need to or make things manifest if we're not eating healthy and properly enough to make sure that our menstruation is cleansed and is happening on the proper amount of days that it's supposed to be happening on, how heavy it is, if it smells, those things. So I just want to remind the audience how important it is to eat healthy, so that you can manifest everything that you want while you're experimenting with yourself, right? To be in tune with yourself. This plays a major, major role. So detoxing and fasting and not eating the unhealthy foods plays a big, big role in all of this.
I totally agree. with that.
I agree. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
I wanted to ask just quickly, because I like what the sisters are sharing. Brother Abdullah or Akia, is there a phone number for those who are interested in the upcoming event? Is there a phone number?
It's on the flyer. It's on the flyer.
Okay,
718-812-5312. Goddess Kia. For vending, contact Goddess Kia, 718-812-5312.
All right, go ahead and continue, ladies.
Yeah, may I mention the left and right side of the brain when it comes to manifesting? I know most of you might know that the left side of the brain hemisphere is logic, and the right side represents creativity and intuition. So once you synchronize both sides of the brain, which is male, which is masculine and feminine, you're able to manifest when you do that also. That's another way I manifest. Like I synchronize both sides of my brain hemisphere, left and right, masculine and feminine, creativity and logic. And that's another way you can line up yourself, which is the same as nature, lining up with both aspects. Because a lot of people do not use the right side of their brain. They teach you from little kids to only use your logic side. So that's why it's so hard for people to be creative. You know what I'm saying? I haven't worked in the Matrix for over 6 years, and that's because I'm using both sides of my brain instead of just using one side, chasing money to manifest. I use both sides synchronized.
This is so.
So I just wanted to make that good point, that we have to use both sides of our brain hemisphere. The right side have to be used more. Most people are only using the logic.
Yeah, it's the creativity side needs to be used more. I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. A lot of these electronics too play a role in that, the logic and the creativity. So we gotta, put a lot of these electronics down and use our minds, use our childlike minds, and go back to imagination. I was just talking about this. I have a 9-year-old young goddess, and I'm just so grateful that sometimes she don't want an iPad. She just want to go and play with her dolls. And, I could see her using her imagination. She still has it. And, this is very, very important. So I encourage her to use that, because I don't want that to go away. I don't know what age mine went away, but I'm slowly I'm regaining that back. So yes, that's very important. Thanks, sis. I appreciate that information.
No problem. It always starts from school or the parent.
It does. They train us logically, just think logic. And I'm just watching a young child that the imagination and the creative side is just as important.
Which is the feminine side, by the way.
Oh, okay.
The logic is masculine, and the right side, which is creativity, is a feminine principle. That's that word, principle. Because everybody have both sides. So I'm gonna use principle, that word.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
I want to read something from the Iroquois Constitution, the ancient matrilineal principle of civilization is preserved in the Iroquois Constitution, which is the Autochonous Constitution. In Article 44, the lineal descent of the people of the 5 nations shall run in the female line. Women shall be considered the progenitors of the nation. They shall own the land and the soil. Men and women shall follow the status of the mother. Article 48. If all the heirs of a lordship title become extinct, and all the families in the clan, then the title shall be given by the lords of the confederacy to the family and a sister whom they shall elect. Article 17. A bunch of a certain number of shell wampum strings, each 2 spans in length, shall be given to each of the female families in which the lordship titles are vested. Lordship titles are the right of bestowing the title shall be hereditary in the family of the female legally possessing the bunch of shell strings, and the strings shall be the token that the females of the family have the proprietary right to the lordship title for all time to come, subject to certain restrictions hereinafter mentioned. So there are Articles 44 to 42 to 45 preserve the ancient matrilineal principles of civilization. This is the Autochonous Constitution, what people know as the Iroquois Constitution. This ancient system of matrilineal is preserved in this Constitution.
Say what?
The Iroquois Constitution, Articles 42 to 54. I read 3 of the articles, Article 17, Article 44, and Article 48.
Why was the titles given to the women? Why is that? Why was that decision made?
All right, this ties, that your question ties into the presentation. It ties into the presentation of dealing with the fertility of woman. So let's look at your question. Is pretty much was answered throughout the presentation. It's a great question, because you actually brought it full circle and you're making the connection of why the title is given to the woman. All right, because woman is the gate. The womb is the gate in which all life comes through. You're looking at the fertility of the woman. All right.
Also,
so
the woman, the woman is able to sustain life after it gets here. So when the child is born, the breastfeeding allows us to sustain life as Earth does. Once a plant is grown, we can eat from that plant and sustain our life. So that is why.
With that being said, every woman should be able to manifest anything you desire because you got a Stargate. And if you're not manifesting all your dreams, goals, and desires, there's a Stargate yoni womb disconnect.
I think mastering your sex energy have a lot to do with it too. A lot of women don't know how to say no. They let the guy control their sex energy. They don't master their own sex energy. If you gotta at least know how to say no, and a lot of women have a problem doing that, saying no. So I always tell women, learn how to say no. Like if you want to master your sex energy, at least learn how to say no.
Well, they also got to know how to say yes.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Only when you want to, though.
Saying no to your husband?
Only have sex when you want to. You're going against your spirit when you don't.
Wait, see, you have women here who's married. They're not single. So you're speaking from a single perspective. Kia, from your marriage perspective, what wisdom would you like to add? Hold on, Swords. Hold your thought. Don't just interrupt. As a married woman, Kia, what is your wisdom?
Well, as a married woman, I can understand what she's speaking about. If you have a man who knows about your cycle, who knows your connection with the womb, if I do say no, he will understand that and wait. want to add that he definitely will wait. He's that type of guy. But you know, you have to have that type of husband. But you know, it is a give and take. You know, you know, they had y'all. You guys have your needs. You know? And because he is very connected to the universe, and because he practices spinal retention, and because he deep breathes during love making, and because we do our manifestation during love making, you know, when he needs it, you know, he needs it. That's what I would give to the whole thing. But you know, I have we're both I'm a work in progress. I feel like he's way more advanced than I am, but I'm grateful to have him and have his patience.
Special shout out to Shaka.
The Sages, right?
Yeah, just so you know, this is the brother, this is her husband right here who knows how to keep the harmony going. Sag in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it up. It's coming up on 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for the first time presentation, Brother Abdullah. I think you did very well. Ladies, what do you think? How did he do tonight?
Did all right by me.
Only one applause?
I'm going to a party after this.
No, I think no. What I feel, and I really am grateful, is that you are bringing up a lot of conversations that need to be had, and in terms of harmonizing and grounding our feminine energy, because there are many sisters that are out there that really needs, and it's something even for those of us who know how to, we have to continuously do it. It isn't. It's daily. It's the healing. Healing is reconnecting. Healing at its basic form is reconnecting. So this is very needed. And just to elaborate in terms of when you were talking about the law that you just gave, I wanted to also mention that a lot of spiritual system, they also use the feminine or the womb as the main channel for their religion. In terms of African spirituality, for instance, Ifa and even Babalaos, they need a womb in order to manifest. So what they have constructed are external wombs. And then we get to Brazil in Candomblé, a woman is the head of the house in each Candomblé sect or houses, as they're called. They have to have a woman as the head. So these many of our ancestor spiritual system, they understand that and they know that. So these are conversations that need to come forth, and we need to have them more. And then like that, we can dismiss all these stigmas that we have been conditioned with in terms of the Christian system and all the fear and fright, because fear is just to paralyze us and keep our brain in one vibration. So these are, we are unpacking a lot of things, a lot of notion that needs to be unpacked in order to heal and reconnect. So thank you. I really appreciate that. I'll end with that.
Well, I give the brother a thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. Although we have to heal ourselves individually and
oh no.
Wow, she went into the black.
Collectively. We have to heal ourselves collectively. Well, right? Speak amongst each other, pray with each other, meditate with one another. We have to do that ourselves. Is always appreciative to have a male's perspective and understanding that, so you can get that information out to the brothers, and so that we can come together and do things and get the government of body politics going, because it's very important. Outside of this conscious community, across certain feeds on social media, is like the battle of the sexes. And it really hurts because we keep pointing the finger at one another, and all this we keep going to history and say, oh, the women were doing this, and oh, but y'all men are dogs. And what's happening is we just keep becoming divided and divided. And I've seen footage from the 60s, the 20s, and so forth and so on. And if we don't stop this, I feel like we're going to be distinct like the damn dinosaurs out here. So yes, I give you 2 thumbs up for coming in and rocking with us and respecting us, and we respect you. I hope to see everyone here on the 14th, so you can hear him speak more about the other things that we need to put in position to make sure that we're doing well. And all of these beautiful women, all of these intelligent women, all of these women who are in tune with themselves, I expect you guys to be here. Please pass the word so that we can come together collectively, no matter what walk of life we may be in, to do something together and solidify it and protect ourselves against the bigger beast out there, you know? So I hope to see you guys, you know, I really do. And if I don't, spread the word, and there will be plenty more. There will be plenty more.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I appreciate all of the sisters' knowledge as well. I've learned a lot. And thank you, Brother Hank, for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Uncle Hank.
Yeah. Aunties. Let's say, Auntie Khadija, you have anything to share before we close out?
Yes, actually, I would like to thank Brother Ankh. I would like to thank Brother Abdullah and all the women here on the call today. Thank you so much, Brother Abdullah, for giving us this piece of knowledge. And, you know, I have some things I got to go back and research myself. So I'm excited about that, you know, and it's just great to just be in such a beautiful space to see us all come together and be able to have these conversations and really open each other up and wake each other up. So thank you.
Are you married, Brother Abdullah? You married?
No. No.
Okay. Just want to put that out there. Okay. Hey.
Oh yeah. My moon is in Virgo, by the way, also.
Okay.
Don't you, Brother Abdullah, strap up. Here we go.
Next time we got to do love matching on here. All right. Single people in the building. Okay.
Emilola, what's your closing words? I got the 2 Cancerians right next to each other, Salika and Emilola. And you got Earth sign Swords, and you got Scorpio Khadija and Cancerian Bliss. And Kia, when's your birthday?
Taurus, April 30th.
So wow, on this show, what do we have? Earth and water.
Earth signs, right?
It's Earth and water.
I'm the only Capricorn.
Got fire, me,
and I'm fire, and the rest is Earth and water. Special shout out to King Simon.
All the elements.
You would like this. You would like this platform, King Simon. It is a pool
King Simon,
of
my
warm
man.
water
Peace, brother.
and soft earth. Yeah.
My moon is Virgo.
All right. So wait a second. I want to just see.
Okay,
I want to move.
Keep me taking notes.
Here we got 3 Cancerians: Salika, Emilola, and Net Bliss. And Kia, you're Virgo. You said?
No, Taurus. I'm
Taurus. Taurus. My mom was a Taurus. And Swords is Scorpio. And Khadija.
No. I'm a Capricorn.
No.
I'm a Scorpio.
Khadija Scorpio. Swords is Khadija is Scorpio, and Swords is Capricorn, right? We got it.
What is this?
I'm curious to know what's people's moon sign.
I don't know mine.
I'm in Cancer.
It's either Pisces or Scorpio. I don't know mine. I just know I'm all water.
You know what's crazy? I got 5 Virgos in my chart. 5.
Wow.
So Abdullah, what's your moon sign?
Virgo.
Virgo. Okay.
Yeah. Reading, writing, speaking, analytical thinking.
That's what he said.
Virgo moons in here.
Khadija, yours is which one is yours, Khadija?
Cancer. My moon sign is in Cancer.
So wait a minute. Your sun is in Scorpio and your moon is in Cancer.
Yep.
That's powerful.
That's a lot of water.
That's nice. Look at it. She looked like water. Look at that smile. Last time I seen a smile like that was I was looking in my pot fixing breakfast.
That's fantastic. But
Special shout
what
out
is
to Medicine Woman Karain. She's in here listening. You got
Mm.
medicine folks in here.
Salika? What is your moon sign, Salika?
I'm Capricorn and Sag.
Oh wow, mine is. So my moon is Capricorn as well.
Yeah.
So my sun is Cancer, my rising in Cancer, and my moon in Capricorn.
See, similarities.
Yeah.
Just want to mention one thing about zodiac signs. As I was taught, as you evolve and you grow spiritually, because I was taught, don't be attached to anything in particular, because we are in the world, we're not of this world. And as you grow, you'll find people that have evolved spiritually, and you'll ask them their zodiac sign, but you think it's one thing, but they act another way. I was also taught that you have to go through all 12 zodiac signs before you pass this life. So I might be a Cancer. I might know who I am, but that's not who I am. So people say, well, I thought you were this, or I thought you were that. So you might just be evolving on another, level here in the now.
Because I'm a free spirit Capricorn.
I'm just saying. You just might act like another zodiac sign, other than what you were born with.
Well, I'm a Taurus, so they automatically think of bull, like, but the bull can come out. It can come out.
Yeah, we're not that bossy. It's not true. They say Capricorns are bossy. Not all the time.
Stubborn?
I've been told I'm bossy because I have the Capricorn, my moon rising is Capricorn, so I'm told I'm bossy. I'm like, I'm not bossy, but I am.
She sure can cook. Let me tell y'all, if y'all need to have an event,
well,
you need to have a good cook. Salika can make magic out of simple ingredients. Emila, Kia, if you need somebody to vend, that's the woman right there.
I'll call. I have a juice bar lounge, and I'm definitely looking to have some conversations with you ladies on my Instagram. Not for long, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, just to bring enlightenment, to the rest of the world and stuff like that. So I definitely will be reaching out to you guys.
Yeah.
And
where's your location?
It's on between 110th and 111th and 2nd Avenue in Harlem, East Harlem.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely reach out. But Salika, I wanted to amplify what you said in terms of going through all cycles. It is true, and interestingly enough, in many cultures they celebrate the seventh birthday. The seventh is the signal, the symbol for going through each cycle. So living a full life and a full cycle of all zodiac sign is until the age of 84. That's when you've lived through all your cycles, and it goes in each 7 years is when you change cycle into a new zodiac sign. So yeah, that is definitely on point.
Well, my dad is listening. Shaka's dad, Harambe Bay. He said the word woman, WOMBMAN, not woman. WO is a prefix for woe, WOE, and it means great sorrow, grief, misery. Webster New World College Dictionary, 4th edition.
Oh, fascinating.
Okay.
So what's his definition of man?
Crazy. Humanity. Man is shortened. The word man is a shortened form of humanity. So in the Greek, humanide. So it's humanity. They shortened it to man.
What? Shaka's dad, the way he breaks stuff down, Hank, I would advise for you to have him on. He's another fire one.
Is he going to speak at the event coming up, or is he going to have
No, but he say some things that I don't think we would even think of. He said that when he was younger, the vowels, A-I-O, sometimes Y was not in there. So he feels like that Y was the introduction to the LGBT community. I think you guys will want to hear that.
What?
Talks about the noun. We were taught 5 senses, and he said we have 6, and he'll tell you which one is that. So I think you guys would definitely want to hear him out. I'll have Hank reach out to him and you can have something done, whenever you open up.
Oh, speaking of that, Kia, share with people your YouTube platform, because we can't put everything and everyone in one show. So share with us your platform, the listening audience.
Our platform is House of Harlem TV, but I've taken a little break because I have my own bar lounge a year now, and so we're doing other things in the music. But that's what it is. But we'll have I like having like small discussions about health and about astronomy and astrology and femininity on my IG platform. That's where I'm awareness for right now.
It's the same name on Instagram?
The Instagram is called Carbon Juice Lounge. That's the name of the store. We're carbon-based people. So Carbon Juice Lounge.
Okay.
Because you got a lot of talent in here. I'm going to bring up the flyer one more time before we close out. This is the end game, Restoring the Moorish Body Politic, December 14th, 7 to 10 p.m. Shem Malachi Bay. And we have here Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bay. Location, Dreams Event Hall, 966 Rutland Road. That sounds like Flatbush. 11212. For vending, Goddess Kia. 718-812-5312. Donation.
They can't see the Eventbrite information.
Oh, well,
I can give it to him and he can put it in the link.
Let me hide the banner.
Oh, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
That's close to you, Hank. That sounds close
No,
to you.
I'm in Crown Heights. It's closer to Brooklyn College. If it's on Rutland Road, it's actually Crown Heights. You're right. Swords. Rutland Road. What's the cross streets on Rutland? Rutland and what?
Must be close to Wingate.
Yeah. Might be close to Wingate Park.
Yeah. The information for the young man that I was speaking about, Shaka's father, you can contact him at 646-739-9938 if you want to have discussions about what I was mentioning. Very interesting, his perspective on things.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
He teaches judges etymology. He teaches a lot. He's a travel worldwide with his son Dougie Fresh. He's very well known, and he is a master teacher, and he knows a lot. Has a plethora of information. I'm pretty sure you guys would love to hear, especially from the etymologist perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you have a
definitely
lot of,
love to hear more about that insertion of why. I was
That
also
why.
told, I was also told that the J didn't exist also, but I never heard about the Y.
Uh-oh. Abdullah, you know about that. That's your
Yeah, I know about the
your
Y. Yes, the Y. You see, the Y is used in Old English as a vowel. You sometimes they'll say it's a semi-vowel.
Yeah.
The Y is functions as a semi-vowel at some time, and also the W functions as a semi-vowel. And if you're looking at studying linguistics, and you're looking at a lot of the Old English, you'll see the Y being used as a vowel.
Yeah,
right. That's what he was saying. He was saying that because he's 85, so he's been around.
he's going through all this
don't
cycle.
look like he's 85, right? So he knows when these things were put in. He was there when they first introduced it, and his idea of why they introduced it is kind of interesting. But once again,
spells. They probably do that to throw us off because words are spells.
Exactly.
So you never know.
Right.
The meanings that they apply, the connotated meanings, suppress the culture, and they disconnect us from the culture. This is why they place as in the word sin, and as in giving the connotated meaning for the word spirit, taking it out of its culture, science or breathing perspective. And among many other words that we can go on, but
Yeah.
So the next time I see a beautiful woman like the ones on this chat, I can say, "Oh, y'all some fine sinful souls, huh?"
Thank you.
Oh, you sinfully,
I embrace.
collectively.
And you know what? And that's good, though. No, that's fine. That's fine. And that would be appropriate. But we know that they don't know the etymology of the word. All right, but that's still. I mean, that'd be great because you're tying it to fertility. Absolutely.
Mm.
Listener.
I'm a sinner.
You can reach me. You can reach me on YouTube Source Witch. I'm into astral projection. That's my niche. Astral projecting. If anybody interested.
What is the YouTube?
Let's go.
Source Witch. Source Witch on YouTube. Yeah. And that's my thing. I do it almost every night.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, if anybody wants to reach me, I am a certified Kundalini meditation yoga. I teach breathing. To
Spirituality. Spirituality.
Very spiritual. I'm very spiritual, but I teach that. Well, I do a lot of things, but the meditation is the one thing because I knew a lot, but when I took the class online in India last year, I learned a lot more. So I can give a lot more details of the breathing and why. As I've said before on another previous platform where, some gurus over there in India can take a breath in and don't breathe for another 4 to 6 hours.
Mm.
Wow, that's like wow.
I need that. Woo.
Well, I mean, it takes some training. But
what's the longest you can hold your breath?
It's not about holding the breath. It's about breathing and the way to breathe. So I couldn't hold my breath at all because I can't swim. I'm very fearful of swimming because I almost drowned, but that's another story. But when I was doing the exercise, for about a couple of seconds, I felt like I didn't need to take another breath in, but I had to continue with the breathing. But I was surprised that I could and even now I can just sit. If I was to breathe in properly, I could hold my breath longer than what I used to. Before you'd be like, I'm going to die, I can't. But yeah, there's a way of breathing and a way of, when you meditate, doing mudras, why you do the mudras a certain way and why you breathe a certain way and why you think a certain way. It's all a process. So, but I teach meditation class, one coming up on, Sunday. And I try to do it once a month. And if anybody's interested, you can reach me I'm on IG at Sequoia _spirit on Instagram.
With an S?
Sequoia, SEQUOIA _spirit. Right now I have a lot of memes on there right now, but I'm trying to the manifest. Okay. I have a lot of spiritual memes on my Instagram page, but
I thought you meant other kinds of memes.
Unless you want to take my number down, it's 845.
Okay, let me do that.
Yeah, let me do that too. Because the breathing have a lot to do with the astral projecting too.
Yeah, that's just different from what I'm teaching about the Kundalini.
Do anybody?
It's 845-665-8305.
Does anyone here work with dream interpretation?
Yes, I do that as well.
8305.
Look, she just went into dream state just then. Look, she's gone.
Oh, she froze?
No, I'm sorry, my phone rang. I do that. I'm a Reiki master. I do signature readings. I can read your first and last name and see into that. Dream interpretation. My father was very good at that. And what else? I'm a massage therapist.
Yeah.
What was that number again?
I'm gonna be hitting you up.
What was the number? 845
665
665
8305.
I know.
Khadija, you need to give out your contact information because I'm getting brothers giving you a lot of accolades by way of text. They might want to reach out to you. You might be a wife before next year if you say your cards right. I'm not joking.
I know you're not joking. But I mean, I guess
9,000 subscribers on this channel.
All right. Well, you already know, Brother Ankh. I have my crystal jewelry. I also practice Reiki as well. So, you can reach out to me on IG at Goddess Aura Collection or at Goddess Ka.
Say it slow, Khadija. Say it slow. Make it sinfully slow.
No.
No! Abdullah, you done started something tonight, brother.
It's getting telling here.
Thanks.
So that is Goddess Aura Collection. That's the jewelry page. And you can also reach out to me at Goddess Ka. Both
Ka.
on IG. Yes, KHA.
Okay.
So, anybody who want to come and get your energy right, get some crystals, get some beads, bracelets, waist beads, custom jewelry.
I love waist
beads. Talking about your waist beads.
I need to add some more waist bead to my collection.
I got you.
Oh, you'll mail them out and stuff. Okay. So,
Yes, I absolutely do.
Yeah, I need that. I need all the energy I can get.
Yep, I charge all of my beads with Reiki energy, and I also use my sound bowls. I'll charge them with the moon. I'll charge them with the sun. So I make sure they get all of the healing energy that they need before they're sent out.
Oh, that sounds sinfully.
That sounds good.
I'm getting rewired, brother Abdullah.
You know what? He got a clothing line coming out calling Sinful Women.
Yo, hey, could you imagine a YouTube channel called
Get your moon right. Sinful Women.
Go.
Love it. So I am on IG. I'm Pure Bliss, Pure Bliss _9. And by profession, I'm a psychotherapist. Similar to a goddess, your husband, you mentioned he went to social work school. I recently shifted profession and I went into psychotherapy, and essentially for multiple reasons, because we need it within our community. And being the spiritual person that I am, because I've studied multiple systems, including India. I spent 30 days in India. I've studied many religions, Ifa, Candomblé, all these different things, because I needed to be able to integrate and understand our core principle and how to help us heal and reconnect to who we are. And I wanted, and the reason why I went to school to be a psychotherapist is so I can be official in the eyes of white people, essentially. So how to be accredited. And that's it, because they're going to look and say, oh, she went to Columbia. So yeah, she's officially certified. But this is really for our community so that we can be able to heal, and how we incorporate all this knowledge that we have. And so my niche is primarily being able to heal, being able to transmute energy, because that's what we are here for, to manipulate energy. And whether you're doing it with crystals, you can have all these crystals in your home, but you don't know how to transmute energy still, or you transmute it to a certain level. So being able to manifest things also has to do with manipulating energy and transmuting energy. And that's both mental, physical, and cellular energy. So on all levels, the breath can assist you because it's on a cellular level. So we are incorporating all this knowledge into one, and this will help us manifest the best versions of who we are, because that should be our primary manifestation, not just material things, but actually self-ascension. So yeah, you can find me online, IG Pure Bliss _9.
Thank you. Wow.
This is great.
Everybody finished speaking up? I want to thank you.
Yeah, I just live
Abdullah.
life.
Oh, go ahead, Milola. What'd you want to say?
No, I'm saying I just live life. That's what I do.
All right.
Your life could be inspirational, though. Your life could be inspirational, though. Just your life could be inspiration for others, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that you better invite her to your party if you want to lighten it up.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Brother Abdullah, it was an honor, man. I want to thank you again. First time, Brother Aries.
Thank you.
And I want to thank Goddess Kia, Brother Sag, Shaka, for making this happen. Thank you, Sonata, for being on the show. Brother Shaka and Kia made this happen.
Thank you.
And I want to thank Net Bliss, all the Cancerians up there on my row, Salika, Emilola, Net Bliss, Scorpio Khadija, Capricorn Swords, and Virgo Kia. And my Aries brother, we got to do follow-up shows, man. We got to do follow-up shows. You know, you got to open invite because you got so much knowledge that we can't give folks info indigestion. We got to give them spoonfuls because they've been miseducated and think it's a sin.
Yeah, or evil.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone in the chat. We've had some comical commentators. So let's get ready to wrap it up, close it out, and till next time.